Hey guys, me host Superstar. Thank you very much for tuning in. Look what I got. It's the Toony Terrors Sam. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the Toony Terrors. I'm not a big fan of the style, but there's a few of them that I do like in the collection. Sam is one of them. I collect everything Sam, so I had to grab this one. This was actually a present for my birthday from Mrs. Superstar way back in June. So I have actually kept this fully boxed and on card right from June till now to be able to review it as a part of my Halloween celebrations. Now on the back it is pretty cool because it does have the Halloween backdrop there, which is pretty nice, and it says you can basically put that card back inside here somehow. Don't know how you would do that though, because you have to rip this off to do it. And yes, so basically it's cartoon versions of our favourite horror characters made by NECA. This is the first time I'll actually be reviewing one of these. There are a few that I would like to get, like I really would like to get the two little girls from The Shining, Chucky and Tiffany, of course, and I'm definitely thinking about getting Elvira in this form, because I think Elvira really lends herself well to this style, as does, I think, Sam. Now on the back it does give you a little explanation as to what Toony Terrors is all about, which states, bring the fun of Saturday morning cartoons to your horror collection with these adorable little creeps. Pick your favourites or collect them all and make every day a Toony Terror time. Cool, and like I say, it says that you got an additional backdrop here. Interesting. Right guys, let's go ahead and break Sam out of the packaging. So these are by NECA, so they're not on the cheap side. These are usually about £20 to £25 each, depending on what character you get. So here is Sam. Yeah, I like the fact we get his big orange lollipop. We get an alternate head for him. And we get his little burlap sack. Then he puts his candy in. Or he carries his weapons around him. And we do have a little rope tie, which I will just carefully snip off here to release the figure from his plastic prison. Okay. Pop that together. Back in the box. Remember guys, I unbox things so you don't have to. So, I know a lot of people probably wouldn't unbox these because they're nice on card back, but I like to unbox. Alright, so these are pretty cool actually. The body's static on these, so you can't move the legs or anything like that. He does have holes in his feet, so you can use a display base. His head is on a bit of a ball joint though, so you can actually rotate the head around and move it left and right. His arms seem to be movable, but I don't know, I'm reluctant to move that too much. It feels very stiff. Yeah, I feel very reluctant to move that. As with the other one, they feel like I don't know, I don't feel like I want to move these arms. I feel like they're very, flimsy. I don't want to move them because I'm frightened I'm going to break them. But we can put his little sack in his hand. Like that, so he's carrying the little sack to his side. You can put that like that, so he's like carrying it. Also helps steady the figure a little bit as well. And of course he's got his other hand, which is like this, for his lollipop. Of course Sam has the bite taken out of it, the lollipop, and we just slide that in. Yeah, like so. Very cool. And now the fun part about this as well is, this head does come off, and we do have a secondary head. So we've got the burlap sack head, first of all, but if we just pop that off, there is a small little ball joint there, as you can see. And then we can pop on the pumpkin head. Like so. And that gives him the secondary head look. Very cool. But I think for me personally, I'm going to be keeping the traditional Sam head on there when I stand him on my horror collection. What do you guys think? Probably the best of the two heads, would you agree? It's a very cute little figure though, and we will compare him size comparative wise to some of the other figures in the line, because they're all very short. Obviously they're all meant to be based on, like, he's meant to be like a little kid, so they are really small. So we will take a look at some other figures and see how he compares to the other ones in the line. So let's head on down to the desk cam, guys, and take an up close personal look at Sam. So guys, here is Sam out of the packaging. As you can see, like I said, he is very cute in the Toony Terror style format. He does look very good and renders himself very well to that style. His little burlap sack, as I showed you, does help him steady to stand him up nice and tall. And I love the fact that he's got his little lollipop. All of the figures so far that I've had have all had that little lollipop, which is pretty cool. There isn't any paintwork issues on this doll whatsoever. I've not found any issues with him. He's very, very clean. The paint works very good. The arms look like they should move, but I'm really not going to move them. I'm using this as more of a static figure. I won't be using this for any photography or anything like that. But it's cool to see him, in this style. And it's a nice new Sam collectible for the collection. Speaking of the collection, if you would like to see me go through all of my Sam collectibles, obviously it might be in about another week or so, maybe 2 weeks, as we get closer to Halloween, because I'll have unboxed everything else, like this year's Funko, as well as the Burster Box, and many other Sam goodies that I've got to open. I'll be able to show you guys my entire Sam collection, so I can probably do that Halloween week if you're interested. Let us know in the comments, and I can show you off all of the Sam merch that I have so far. Because I think I have more or less a complete line of merch. I even have the old reaction figure for Sam, and the original pop vinyl. So, I mean, I think I literally have everything so far. I don't think there's anything that's passed me by that I don't have. I even have the Living Dead doll, the Mezco. So I'm trying to work out if there's any that I'm missing. So if I do the video, you guys can point out if there's any pieces I'm missing from my collection. But anyway, guys, let's compare this Sam to the other Sams that they've released so far. So these are all NECA figures that I'm going to show you. This is NECA, the Toony Terror. And they've also done the Ultimate Sam, which is pretty cool. Again, there's not much in the way of height difference here, which is pretty good. And this is their clothed Sam, the cloth one, or the retro series as they usually call that one. Bring the camera up and aim it down. Yeah, you can see they're all pretty different sizes, shapes, and styles, which is cool. It's nice to have different versions of Sam. Under that hat as well, there is the other face that we've got for that Sam as well. And this Sam did come with alternate heads to give you the pumpkin head as well, which is pretty cool. Speaking of that pumpkin head, if I move these two just out of the way a little bit and just pull this little back, we can go ahead and pop the other head on for you once again, just to show you on the desk cam how that looks. Ooh, there you go. And there is that pumpkin head up close. Again, on this head I found no paint app issues. It's very well detailed. There's only like that little bit there, which is a white dot that could be filled in. And there's a little purple mark there. Oh, we've got a little black dot there as well. So there are a few little paint splashes, but nothing that I would say is detrimental. It looks very well painted and very clean in the paint apps. What I'm interested to see, actually, if I just pop that head back off and pop this one back on, because that's how I'm going to be displaying him, like all the other Sams, I'm interested in seeing if this works. So if I pop this head off, I've not done it in a long time, so let's be careful. If we pop that one off, it's a very similar ball joint. Does that fit on here? Oh, yes, it will. So you can actually use the Toony Terror's head for the pumpkin head on this Sam, which is a very cool idea. There is a different in the colour schemes, but now where I'm interested in seeing even more, if I take this head off, I'm intrigued even more now. Let's try this one. Oh, see, that looks weird. It looks like he's got a very long neck now. So yeah, it doesn't work, but it just makes him look more weird, doesn't it? But yeah, it's just cool to try out. So if we pop that one off, but yeah, this one did work. There is a different in the paint apps, but if you were to take an action figure photography shot, this head's it's more detailed than the one they gave us with the ultimate head. So yeah, that could work for certain angles of shots. Like if you were doing a shot, if you were doing a shot where you were aiming down like this, so the neck wasn't really much of an issue, and you could kind of lower the camera and tilt it like this, and have the head sort of leaning forward towards the camera more, hiding the neck piece, that could look really good, because this head is actually more detailed than the head that they gave us with the original figure, in my opinion. So yeah, if you were doing like a lumbering, creeping forward Sam like this, like he's coming towards the camera, that could look very nice. This head is very detailed and very orange, so it would come out very well on an action figure photography shot. I do like to do all the head swaps. That's I do love doing head swaps, trying out different things. As it's great when you've got figures of the same line, like NECA and stuff like that, because usually they're accessories and things that are all, you can kind of cross them over sometimes to other lines, which is good. Like that little, I like, sometimes for photography shots, I prefer these ones, these lollipops, because this lollipop has got the, is like matte finish rather than shiny. The other ones they gave us that came with the NECA ones, like these ones, are like almost like a translucent plastic. And when you take a shot or you shine a light, it makes the lollipop glow, which you don't want. Whereas that lollipop's got a lot more, it's a lot more of a matte finish, so it's going to be more realistic looking on the camera shot. But again, that's just my opinion. But guys, what are your thoughts on these figures? Would you like to see the Sam collection? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed today's review, guys, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And let's head on back to the main cam and finish off this video. Guys, what are your thoughts on this figure? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribing really supports us, it really helps us out, and helps us to keep making awesome videos. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, may the Force be with you, and happy Halloween! Bye.